Hello, my O's. This is Grandma, and I'm going to tell you a story about this person. I think he looks like this, and I know that on the keyboard he lives on this key. And he has a great friend who lives 2 keys above him. Now, Doll's great friend who lives 2 keys above him looks like this, and her name is Me. And Me writes her name like this. All around us is a huge family of toads. The toads family. All the tones. Well, ages ago, a very clever person captured the musical tones and put them in the instruments. So now you can call them up on your piano or your drum or your ukulele or on a big brass instrument if you have one. Now the tones live in this great palazzo, and it is called La Scala. And it might look like this. They get to know each other by going up these ladders. That is how they go from their rooms. Inside, there is a huge big scala, a stairway. And Do in this apartment lives in the basement, and his great friend Me lives above him, as we know, as we saw on the keyboard. Do writes his name like this, Me writes her name like that, and on the keyboard, they live here. Now, Do has a very important father, and his name is Sol, and he lives here on the keyboard and writes his name like this. Sol is a great friend of Me and, of course, of his son Do, and they often play together like this. They sound a bit like a family. Now, one day, Do was told by Me that he wasn't to come and play with her anymore. She didn't want to see him, she'd quarreled with him. Do was lonely, and then he remembered that he had heard this person above him. So he went and knocked on the person's door right above him, and a voice said, "My name is Re." Not terribly friendly, a bit upper class. But he invited Do in, and so they began to play together. Now, what Re did for Do was introduce him to 2 of his friends, the beautiful fairy Fa, who would become Do's fairy godmother, and the even more beautiful Lady La. And here she is. Re, Fa, and La sounded a bit sad when they played together. Now, my O's, you know the names of most of the tones. You know Re, who lives there, and you know Fa, the fairy who lives there, and La, the beautiful lady who lives here. And of course you know Do, and you know his friend Me, and you know his father Sol. But who lives here on the last floor? Well, Do decided he'd find out. So he went all the way up to La's balcony and looked out. Looked to the balcony above him, nobody. And then suddenly she appeared, and he remembered Fa had told him her name was Sue, and she wasn't at all a nice person. In fact, they were pretty horrid to each other. Golly, thought Do as he listened to them. Well, he was so curious that the very next day he climbed all the way up La Scala, past re, past mi, past fa, past sol, past la, and knocked on C's door. She led him and led him towards her, and led him and led him and led him to jump off the chimney. Oh my goodness, where was he going to land? Well, he landed right here. It's home. And then he remembered, of course, Fa had told him he had a home in the octave. Higher than his old home up here, but exactly the same as his home down there. So now, when Do wants to go up to his home in the octave, he usually goes past B and past his father Sol and up to his home in the octave. And when he wants to come down again, well, then he starts at the octave and goes to Las, and then to Fas, and then home. Do doesn't very often meet up with Re and Si. He only really meets up with Re and Si when he climbs the whole scala. And then he does this. Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, Si, Do. And when he comes down again, he goes Do, Si, La, Sol, Fa, Mi,